Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work in sincerity and truth. I'll just start with this. Second Ezra 9 and 1, it says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And now's that time, man. Now's the time where it's like you've had coming up more and more consistently people speaking of the end, man. People speaking about, the what's been revealed, in the prophecies in the scriptures, talking about the Charagma, talking about martial law, talking about locking down things, these locking down cities, famine, uh what's the word? They call it natural disasters, they call it, you know, these things have become at the forefront of the minds of the people. These are things that their thoughts are occupied with, because why now is a time where it's been seen, and it's mainly through this whole pandemic situation that's escalated things up, that's sped up and heightened, how these things have been observed, and people are like, yo, it's shit's getting real. Um, but so I sort of found this article. This article is hilarious because it's kind of a marker of the times, man. Man said what on the Sun, it says man's lost hope inside the real life Noah's Ark, and this is this lines up with prophecy as well, because you got, it says in the scriptures what though they dig into hell, um uh thence will I roughly I'll read it in a sec. Amos 9 still, but it's like, yo, even if they dig into hell, or they go into the heavens or the depths of the oceans, hey, the angels are basically can be sent to grab them up. So these ideas, these are things, and it's funny because with this lunar Noah's Ark, I'll read it. Says what man's lost hope inside the real life Noah's Ark, designed to save mankind after the apocalypse with a backup vault on the moon. Scientists have hatched mankind's ultimate insurance plan involving the moon and lots of sperm. Dubbed the Global Insurance Policy, the project is planning on sending seed, sperm, and ovaries to the moon. This is what Lunar Noah's Ark scientists propose: storing seeds and sperm on moon to save humanity after apocalyptic event on Earth. And this is what a solar powered ark would then cryogenically store the frozen samples from some 6.7 million species underground. It's basically like Esau's dream of going, being able to go off world and then just have, completely restart everything and then just run shit how he wants to run it. Where once all the just, and it's funny because it's like these plans are all like, and these things are, as far as to the general public, they're not actually understanding the reality that these apocalyptic events that people are preparing for, people are planning around, these things are going to come to pass. That's not something they're in a meditating upon, you know, Love Island and in the East Enders. They're not thinking about all this coming to an end because they're invested, man. They're thrown in their whole lot within the society. Therefore, they desire, they don't want to even visualize its end, man, because they, as far as for them, they can't see anything else existing. So it says what the solar powered arc would then cryogenically freeze the store the frozen sample, sorry, from some 6.7 A million species on the ground, taking inspiration from Noah's Ark. Experts fear that the Earth may not be safe enough to ensure the survival of the human race or any species. And it's funny, why are these things? They say experts. Who the fuck are these experts in the first place? But then it's like, why are they fearing that? They say humanity won't survive, and this is bullshit that Esau does, where you'll basically be like, oh, I'm gonna he's like, if basically if he goes down, the world's done away with. Like everything's just gonna turn into it, immediately catch fire and burn up and be completely obliterated. Because as far as without Esau on the planet Earth, then it's like there's no other way anyone's gonna be able to live. It's just gonna regress back to people grunting and eating plants, eating grass with their mouths, man, and walking around on all fours. But that's complete, that's part of Esau's whole propaganda machine with Hollywood, where he's placed himself as every historical empire and figure, man. This is what Professor Jiken Thanger of University of Arizona, who proposed the idea in a paper earlier this year, says human race must safeguard the world against global catastrophes. It said Earth is naturally a volatile environment, and it's funny because with the plan of like storing a bunch of eggs and sperm, freezing it in space, that's what they did in what was Interstellar. Interstellar, that was part of the main plot, where they had like they were sent off to find. That's a whole science fiction plot that they do on the regular, where they'll just send off people off planet to go and find a new world and be like, okay, we're gonna start building up here and blah blah blah. And that's why a lot of those post-apocalyptic films, you'll have it where they've moved to Mars or they've moved to Jupiter or whatever the fuck, and they're living there. Then it's like the Earth is just being completely degraded. It's been robbed of all resources, been annihilated, and they just ran off from it. But these are the things that have been predictive. It was through predictive programming. It's putting it in the minds of the people, because these guys are gonna have their bunkers, gonna have their Elysiums, they're gonna have their caves, they're gonna have the underwater Atlantises, where they're gonna be looking to scarper away when the judgment comes upon the earth, man. These guys are thinking they're gonna be able to hide away in a hole, cubby hole, and avoid all the destruction, all the mess going down, and then just sneak out the last minute and inherit. But as far as it's not gonna come to pass, man. But it shows. This is basically like the elite showing you, look, these guys are looking to fuck off, man. These guys are looking to get the hell out of here, man. And hey, it's gonna be the average, the average Joes out here. They're gonna get caught in the crossfires. It says blah blah. Okay, a bunch of BS. So it says the scientists highlighted climate change, a global pandemic, and nuclear war as possible causes of catastrophic disasters. That's the thing, is you talk to the average Joe, and you say, "Oh yeah, what's the chance of a nuclear war?" And then these guys are like, "Yeah, never, no way it can happen." They don't know shit. These guys aren't prepared. These guys are living in a dream world, man. These guys living in a fantasy. They don't really know what's going down. That's why it's like, for people that actually research, look into it, they're like, yo, this shit's really real. As far as if you were to look at what's happened recently with the relations between America, the heightened tension between America and Russia, you were like, damn, something could pop off. Yeah, that's why it's like, what's his name, Mr. Biden, Joe Biden had to go, ring up Putin, and and then man had to chat about certain things. And hey, it's basically a thing of Russia's gonna do what they're gonna do. Same with China. China's gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's down to like, okay, what's the US gonna do in response, if anything? And then you're gonna have that slow escalation. The Karugma, man, that coming out. That's something that can cause mass civil unrest. Because why people are already upset, man. People are rejecting it. You know, Esau's juice, man. It's being rejected by some facets of society, and as such, you know, those detractors, they've as Esau's been highlighting these guys. A lot of the big way all these different movements happen. They have these alternate where they call it alt tech, different like social media sites and whatnot, where they'll kind of congregate together, and you know they'll talk about something like Telegram's one of them. I don't even know if Gab's still up. There was a few others where it would just kind of be like they'll say, "Oh, it's for conspiracy theorists and whatnot," and say, "Oh, you know, a bunch of misinformation's going out." But then that's um you know had it been basically just been pushing them out. But then, hey, these things, as far as for the elites, these are things that are in their considerations as well. Yeah, because these things are gonna go down. But it's like as far well, you say what's down here. So there's a similar project on Earth, the Svalbard Seed Bank in Norway, dubbed the Doomsday Vault, which holds hundreds of thousands of seed samples. But Thanga believes storing samples on our own planet is too risky. The near 7 million samples would be sent to the moon in multiple payloads and then stored below the surface in vaults, CBS News reports. The Ark would be stored within a network of lava tubes discovered in 2013, formed after. Bro, these men are just it's legendary. It's hilarious. I can't even lie. Like the kind of shit that they've you know they're pushing out there. But that's why it's all these things. It's pushing out the vibration, man. It's making people think about the end, making people you know fearful of what's gonna go down. They're like, yo, that's why it's like everyone's getting into a fuss about the civilian space travel with Amazon, with Virgin Galactic, with what's the other one? Blue with oh, and SpaceX. What's his face? Uh, Elon Musk. But the reason they're getting upset is because they know they ain't gonna be in there, man. They're saying like it's 250 grand a ticket just to fly into space temporarily. How much more so if they've you know they got their space bases and whatnot they're looking to fuck off to. The people are really like yo, they're not gonna be able to partake in those things. That's what oh you know don't you shouldn't be thinking about space. You should spend it on poor people. Okay. This guy needs some mess. But I'll continue on this. So 2 9 and 2 it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars and for people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah. Says what? When there's earthquakes and uproars of the people, those things are going down heavily all the time. Like in Europe, it's kind of been heavy resistance because they've been pushing, you know, mandating, you know, the max to a far higher degree. Than well, a few other places, but they've been applying that pressure to where it's like there's the variety of things that you can't do without it has expanded, you know, spectacularly. That's why hey, people are getting upset, and as things get worse, you can see it crank up. This is what then shalt Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days of before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Yeah, the end's manifest. That's really what that scientist was saying. Saying like, yo, there's a chance of this man said that the Earth's too dangerous. We'd need to do it on the moon. Whatever, up in the heavens, really. Because this would be more something just for an Elysium cell. But then what did he say? It says, oh, there's the chance of nuclear war, the chance of various other things going down. The danger's too high. And it's funny because they have the doomsday clock, and it's like that shit was getting cranked out. I don't even know where it's at. I think last time I checked it was like 2 minutes to, or something. It was less than 5 minutes to 2 or 3 minutes to midnight, which is what nuclear war. And these things are not, people aren't meditating on them things, man. People ain't got no clue what what we're in the midst of, and they're basically deceiving themselves that trying to actualize a better life for themselves in 2022, not knowing, hey, these things have been schemed through the spirit, man. The Lord's basically got it out for this, so he's got a bone to pick for this place. As such, what he's going to be bringing about the prophecies, the words that have gone out, they're going to be being fulfilled. That's what's been seen. It says what? Though Amos 2:9-2 says, though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them out. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out of thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command a serpent, and he shall bite them. Yeah, Esau's gonna have all kinds of bunkers, all of a variety of forms of escape, attempted escape anyway. But none of them gonna work. They're all gonna fail, and that's the pride of this man. He really thinks he's gonna be able to, do whatever he desires and fulfill it. And then Scarpa. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.